Hi, I'm Christian.
And I'm Angela, and we are married.
And bored.
Hey, hey, hey!
Welcome, everybody, to
The last
ever
Marvel Champions
whew.
summer episode of the Married and Bored podcast.
We finally got it out, I guess, right?
Well, you know what? It's after Labor Day that we're releasing this.
Don't wear white.
That's not what I was going to say, but that's a good fashion tip.
Is that true?
Fashion tips with Christian might be one of the...
Stay tuned for the end of the show.
But I did look up that the first day of fall this year is September 22nd, I think.
Like officially?
Yeah, so we're still okay releasing a summer episode.
Yeah, there are still people in this country who haven't gone back to school yet.
Is that true?
I don't know.
We didn't check that fact.
No, we don't need to.
So, last Marvel Champions summer episode, we are ending on a bang with Mojo.
Mojo.
Which was a villain that was released... Ooh, has it been...
Some time ago.
Yeah, some time. It's not recent. Some time ago. I think it's the only villain pack that's been released besides Wrecking Crew and the Hood.
Hobgoblin.
Oh, okay.
That one was one. And Kang.
Oh, well.
There's a few, dear.
I have forgotten.
This was the only X-Men version.
Yes.
So we figured we better talk about it. And if you haven't heard any of our episodes, go back and listen to the last 4. We've been hitting Marvel Champions X-Men pretty hard this summer. Last episode, we had our friends from Critical Encounters on.
Oh, yeah.
We had a great discussion about...
Jam.
We talked about Age of Apocalypse to end the campaigns. And we also talked about some fun expansion news from Gen Con about the new Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. expansion. So go back a couple episodes if you want to get caught up to where we are. But we're talking about Mojo. But first, Ange, we just need to fill everyone in with what's been going on with us, what's up.
Yeah.
And we figured we'd just talk about some games that we've been playing. We got some new games that we're kind of excited to play. So let's talk about them. Which one do you want to just kind of highlight first?
Okay, well, we didn't get this game this weekend. We got it a few weeks ago, but we played Harvest on Friday, I think.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
You and I?
Yep.
So we have been enjoying that game. I think we've only technically done like 2 playthroughs, but we did get a 3-player game, and then we were also able to do just a 2-player game where a third bot, I guess, just takes up space and ruins your worker placement plan.
Yeah, that's the worst, basically. The game is not the worst. It's from Keymaster Games.
Yes.
So Parks and Caper Europe, if you're familiar with that one. We got it earlier this summer, and we've just finally been getting it to the table a little bit more. And it's fun. You plant plants. Or actually, you don't plant plants.
Love it.
You plant seeds.
Well, that is how it usually goes.
And then you grow the plants, and then you harvest the plants, and you make money.
Yes.
Which
it's
equal
an agricultural game.
Yeah. So just really quickly, I think we'll probably talk about this in a full episode in the future, but it's pretty quick. That's the one thing I always am shocked about this game.
Yeah, it's one of those sneaky games in the sense where you feel like, oh, I've got a lot of time to do what I want to do. And then pretty soon it's the end of the game and you're on your last round and you're thinking...
And you have 7 points.
Okay, I'm down to my last 3 workers to place in the whole game, and I just thought I had so much more time.
Yeah, usually in my thought, worker placement games tend to be long.
Yeah.
There are shorter ones. Maybe it's just the way I play them that they feel long. Because I'm not the best. You
did get stuck spectating a 5-hour Dune game one time.
Oh my god.
So that's now colored your view of worker placement.
I watched a whole NBA basketball game.
Yeah.
While you guys played Dune.
And more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, Harvest, it's great. Definitely pick it up. You know what? I saw on someone's Instagram that it's at Target, which is kind of crazy. So if you see it there, it's probably like $50-$60, but if you like worker placement games, it's pretty light. There's nothing crazy about it. There's just some fun, funky order of operation things that you have to worry about. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward.
Ooh, I can't wait to do an episode on it.
Oh,
There's so much I want to say. We've also been playing Undergrove.
Undergrove, yeah, we got that one too this summer. That's the recent release from AEG and designer Elizabeth Hargrave and the other dude. Sorry, I don't know your name.
Okay. He's probably listening.
Yeah, sorry. Bro.
And shout out to artist.
I think Beth Sobel.
Beth Sobel. Yeah. You guys, I love Beth Sobel's art.
So this one's really fun. It's got, notes of all of her other games. Even 2023 Game of the Year Fox Experiment, Married and Bored. Award winner.
Married and Boardies.
Yeah, so there's that. So it has some Wingspan notes. It has Mariposa notes. It's got little A flats and B sharps. So
it is not a music game. It's about mushrooms.
Yeah. Anything you want to say about that? It's probably, in my opinion, her most difficult game.
Yeah. Okay, I could see that. Fox Experiment is the one for me of hers that's the most different. Like if you put all her games in a room and said which one of these is not like the others, it would be Fox
like
Experiment.
The Sesame Street song from the 80s.
Yeah. But I do think this one with the tile laying has some interest that she hasn't had in her other games before. And I can't wait to do an episode on this one.
It's like we have episodes stacked, guys.
Oh, man.
It's really cool. Just some highlights. Upgraded opponents from the Kickstarter are awesome.
Components.
What did I say?
Opponents.
Well, sometimes you need to upgrade your opponents, too. I'm just tired of playing against you.
It comes with upgraded opponents. Okay.
Components, awesome. I think we'll talk about that for sure because that is a highlight of the game. The art is great. My one complaint is there are the upgraded components. Some of them and some of the pieces in this game are so tiny. Like the little arrows that point to the tiles, that you put around the circles.
You mean the roots?
The roots. Those are tiny. And I feel like those are going to get lost if I'm not careful.
Well, yes. Not everyone has large finger problems like us. But
okay.
We do not have slender fingers.
Large finger problems.
We've also been playing... what's the other new one? Oh, Rock Hard.
Rock Hard 1977. It's right there. I see it.
Well, it's someone's butt right on the cover.
It is. And if it's you,
let us know.
Good job. This one's fun. This one obviously speaks to me not because of the butt, but because it is it's a story of becoming a rock star in the 70s. And it's really cool because you start out having a real job and you have to go to that real job. And if you miss that job, you get in trouble at the job. But the goal is to quit your job and be a rock star. Right. And you do that maybe a third of the way through the game if you play it right. And then you start making like music money, which is fun. And then this is another worker placement game, which aren't usually my favorite, but the theme for this one helps me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite parts?
I think that... Well, you mentioned one of my favorites right off the top is the fact that they worked in that theme of going to a job and trying to squeeze music into your life on top of having a day job. And then eventually you start making enough on music to not go to your day job. And so that's cool.
And you get fired.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically just have to be delinquent enough that they fire you. And then I like the candy aspect, but I just don't want to talk too much about it because this is another one I want to do a full episode on.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's a lot going on in this one too, so it's
big news at Gen Con too, right? This game?
This one was very popular then. I think it released there, so a lot of people grabbed it and a lot of people demoed it. So
yeah,
pretty cool. And another nice new one. One we'll talk about too. We haven't really played it recently. Is Arcs, so that was super popular at Gen Con as well.
We've had it for a bit. I think we've talked about when we first got it.
Yeah, it's just another one that we're excited about
to play more
and to move. Yeah, to play more and to talk about. So, I mean, that's kind of all that's been going on.
We are currently in the middle of a game of Arc Nova.
That's true. You're crushing it.
But we paused to come here and record. Mm-hmm. So there.
I have a shark in my aquarium.
Yeah, you do.
That's all I really wanted to do, and then I'll probably lose.
Listen, that shark is amazing.
It got me 20 points or whatever.
Didn't get you 20 points.
7 points probably.
But
it eats animals, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's so appealing to have that in your zoo.
It is. I will still lose the game, but I'm enjoying it thus far.
Listen, if you have never played Arc Nova, please go listen to our episode on Arc Nova while you're driving to get Arc Nova.
So just drive somewhere that's an hour away.
Yeah, well, there and back, so like half hour.
Okay.
It's fine.
Is that would you say that's solidly in your top number one favorite game?
Yeah, I think right now it is my number one favorite.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay.
There you go.
I heard they're doing new map packs. You can buy some new maps. Although right now we're playing just the standard one because our son is playing.
Yeah, and he likes the standard. I offered him the chance to like do a different map, and he was like, "No, standard."
Yeah, I mean that's the one I've played the most too. So it's less confusing.
Also, it's the best solo game
of all time.
Yep, from the Married and Boardies is what I hear. They gave it best
I can't wait for this.
Solo game.
I can't wait for this year's version. It's going to be great. So if you're playing a new game that you got this summer, definitely let us know. I think one thing I forgot to mention last time is that you guys can text the show. So in the show notes, there's a link to text the show.
Text us.
So text us what game you're playing, what's the new hotness at your table, or something that you're looking forward to bring us into the end of summer, into this cool fall season. Have you had a pumpkin spice latte yet?
Not that specifically, but I've had a fall flavored drink.
Okay, I've had one.
And?
They're good. It's my guilty coffee pleasure.
Yeah. Why? I mean, why not?
Yeah.
I think that it's okay in Arizona, but it's better when you have a cooler climate.
Well, yeah, we got them through work. They make a big deal about it, and we just kind of celebrate by all going to get one.
Yes.
And it was like August 28th, and it was 112.
Yeah.
Drinking pumpkin spice. And then you go up there, and like me, like an idiot, is like, I'll have one hot.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're dumb.
Well, that is how you should experience it, I think.
Just don't like cold lattes because I drink them in 4 gulps and then they're gone.
Well, yeah. And I think, like, to me, the pumpkin spice just needs to be warm and cozy and wonderful. Like it's giving you a hug.
A pumpkin hug?
Mm-hmm. Okay, when we come back, we will be talking about Mojo. This episode is sponsored by Showit. Are you stuck in a boring website template? Maybe you don't even know where to start. Experience the true creative freedom with the drag and drop simplicity of a Showit website. Our website, marriedandboard.com, is a Showit website, and we love how simple it is to create. Get started for free at showit.co. You won't be disappointed.
All right, Mojo. We mentioned at the top of the show that Mojo is is the only expansion pack, villain expansion pack variety card box.
Is that the full name?
I think that's what it says on the box.
Okay. Okay.
Scenario pack.
Okay.
There you go.
There we go.
For the X-Men run of Marvel Champions. Mojo, he's the big, fat, green blob dude that lives in Mojo World. Funny enough, that's what it's called. And he just loves TV.
Loves TV.
So if you ever watched the 90s cartoon, you remember him. So he's just a
Is that like the 90s way of telling us that obesity is linked to TV.
Probably. Like, you're going to look like...
You know the PSAs they used to do for all the cartoons?
Yeah, like, don't sit too close to the screen. Also, this is your brain. This is your brain on drugs.
Listen, we all know. If you were growing up in the 90s, you know. So, Mojo comes on the scene. So, in the other X-Men campaigns and summer that we've been talking about, they all came in big boxes. So they had a bigger thing to introduce into each of those campaigns.
Sure.
Like, we got player side schemes, and we got the whole side mission thing that we talked about in Age of Apocalypse. Yep. This one, the only thing that's introduced that's new is that there is now a long shot ally card that's introduced. It can be shuffled into any encounter set as a 1-card modular set, but it doesn't count as one of the modular sets required for the scenario. So
you can just have an extra long shot show up?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he is an ally for the heroes, but his back is encounter card.
Okay, so it's orange.
Yep, so it's orange. It's an ally. It helps the heroes. So any scenario you put him in will make it a little easier.
So like the Kang scenario pack, this one is like a mini campaign, right? Like there's a progression through it.
Yes, you can play it like a campaign, just like any of the boxes we've been talking about.
Right. So if you think of like the Green Goblin one back in the day, it just had 2 scenarios. Like, you just play Green Goblin and that's it.
Right.
This one, you can do it that way, but it's more fun and thematic to go through the mini campaign.
Yes, because it tells a story.
Sure.
So, like any big bad villain, we don't start with the big bad right up front.
No.
You can't. So, the first thing we're introduced to is Magog. Do you know Magog from the cartoons?
No, I don't. I mean, when we were looking through these cards and talking about it, like, something was like tickling the back of my brain.
Ooh.
But it might have just been from looking at this for so much. Like,
yeah.
He's not one where I'm like, yeah, Magog, he's dope.
So basically we've got like a gladiator situation where Mojo is like up in the stands. He's got his popcorn and he is going to watch whoever the heroes are try to defeat his champion.
Yeah, does he do the thumbs up, thumbs down thing? Like,
you're right, like cheering or booing.
Like Gladiator?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, whoever you are, whether you're solo coming in as a hero or if you got a full table of heroes, you are going to be up against Magog as the champion. You're in a stadium type thing, and you don't really defeat him. What you have to do to defeat the scenario is to get the crowd to cheer for you.
To be more excited for you than him.
Right. So there's 2, I think they're environment cards, but one is for you as the group or solo contender. And then there are, I guess, challenger is what they call it. And then there's one for Magog called the champion. And you want to get rating counters on your side so that your card flips to the cheering side, because both of them start on booing. And then once the card flips, if you flip the challenger's card, then something bad happens because, Magog is getting stronger. If you flip so that the champion card so that Magog is getting higher ratings, then it helps out the heroes a little bit to try to get them to win. But eventually, if the crowd is booing for you too much and cheering for Magog too much, you're going to lose.
So if you ever get him down to 0 health, what happens? Like, does he just like regenerate back up, or can you not kill him?
Right. So it'll take off rating count. I mean, it'll add rating counters to you. So it's like the crowd lessens their booing and increases their cheering.
So it's good. They're cheering for you to beat him more. Okay.
Yeah. So that is a cool. I think that's really thematic. It's like you're basically like you have 2 it's like a tug of war.
Yeah, it's all about entertainment. Like this whole scenario pack is just like entertain Mojo.
Yeah. So he's up there observing this fight, and you're not really, in the classic sense, trying to just defeat the villain.
Sure.
And the villain's not trying to defeat you in the classic sense. He's just trying to get the crowd to boo.
Yeah, and I don't remember playing this one personally, but I remember playing Mojo, which we'll talk about at the end of this, obviously. But where does he rank in terms of like toughness? Is this a hard scenario, or is it pretty straightforward?
It's pretty straightforward. I think that my son and I, we played this not this past summer, but maybe the previous school year, and I think we defeated it the first or second time. And he was, at that time was 7. So he doesn't always play the most efficiently or effectively.
No.
So if we're able to beat a scenario, that means it's pretty doable.
Okay, cool.
Then.
So after you defeat Magog and the audience is cheering for you.
Yes.
What happens?
Then we go to Spiral.
Ooh, multi-arm lady.
Yes. Perfect description. Okay, so she starts out with a real good text. You cannot damage her, and you cannot remove threat from the main scheme.
Fun.
Also, anytime she would attack, she schemes instead.
Okay.
So, anytime you guys, heroes, are in hero form, she is not going to attack you. She's going to scheme. And then if you remember 5 seconds ago, I said you can't remove threat from the main scheme. So there's a little bit of a catch-22.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. So what do you do?
So she needs to be cornered.
Like a cat.
Uh-huh. So what you have to do is there's like a show deck that gets shuffled off to the side.
Okay.
And you need to thwart a side scheme that's called Search for Spiral. So you're searching for her through... She teleports, right?
Yeah, that's her thing.
So you're searching for her to try to get her cornered because she keeps teleporting.
So she can't bounce around anymore.
Yeah. And so once the show deck reveals the card that says cornered instead of another show, then you've cornered her and she flips.
Okay.
But her encounter cards can give her teleport counters on her cornered side, and if she gets enough of them, she flips.
She goes again.
Back. Yeah. So this is you talked about Green Goblin. That was like the first instance of like the flipping like Norman.
Oh yeah, a villain had two different like phases.
Yeah. So you have to really think about when to do that and how to do that well. But this one's like big on the you just gotta thwart at first to get through the show deck.
She have a lot of upgrades in her deck, like with all her arms. So she like carries swords and stuff.
I don't remember a lot of upgrades.
Okay.
I remember she does have one that references the arms, but she's a schemer, which I feel like that is Mojo's thing. Mm-hmm. Is just he's scheming.
He's just a fat turd.
Yeah.
on a spider walker. But like for Spiral, you think of someone with like a bunch of 4 arms. You think that she'd be strong.
Right.
Which
so
is
there'd be
funny.
Like a knife in one.
Yeah,
and
but she's actually better at scheming than she is fighting. You think of like, I don't know if you know do you know who Goro is from Mortal Kombat?
I do not.
He's got 4 arms. He's like the second to last boss.
Okay.
And he was just a huge monster. So that's what I think of when someone has that and like
totally.
Yeah.
I feel like this, I don't remember the exact like comic story that goes with this campaign, but I feel like in this instance she's just like jumping and you're trying to
like Nightcrawlery
corner her. Hence the
cornered.
Yes.
Cool. And then where does she to beat her? Where does she rank? Harder than Magog, probably?
Yeah, I think that there's definitely has to be, like, some efficiency happening with the thwarting.
Yeah,
like
threat removal and stuff.
Yeah, and it does, like, if you play a hero that isn't good at thwarting, there is text on that side scheme that says you can take 2 damage and remove 3 threat, I think. So there's a way for, like, heavy hitters to still be effective. But yeah, you do need people that, like, unlike our son who just wants to play the coolest card. Okay, well, no. We need to do this, and we need to do it fast because we can't spend time letting her scheme when we can't remove threat from the main scheme. Yeah. So
it's like, I could do 8 damage, yeah, but we actually need you to just remove 2 threat.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then we're on to
Mojo.
Yes.
Yeah, there's only three bad guys in this little mini scenario, and Mojo's fun. He does bring a unique thing to his play style, I guess is what you would call it. Mojo loves TV, so you're going to be shuffling in these encounter sets that are like TV genres.
Yeah,
which is pretty funny.
Like, list a couple of them.
Well, there's one based on Game of Thrones,
so
right?
It's like, I think it's fantasy.
Is it fantasy? Yeah. And then there's like murder. There's like a mystery,
horror,
sitcom,
crime.
Yeah. So then they're all, yeah. If you know Mojo, it's just very like, is meta the right word? Like, it's
right. It's
making fun of like modern TV,
right?
And at the time, 90s TV.
Well, that was modern at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has like this big Wheel of Fortune game board that is in play, I guess, on the side. And the theme is that, like, it's spinning right now.
Yep.
And then he, as a villain, just wants to get through his deck because every time the encounter deck resets, the wheel stops. And then you flip his wheel over, and basically it stops on another genre, and you shuffle more encounter cards in.
Yeah, you just add more terrible things to happen to you.
Now, it does add cards to the deck, so it's like slightly longer for him to get through that set.
Yeah, the next round, that's true.
And every show card does have a negative and a positive for the heroes. So there is that. The show environment doesn't just have a negative, it also has a positive. Okay. But you only start with, like, show decks equal to the number of players plus 1. And if you're supposed to shuffle in one and you don't have one left, time has run out.
And so he wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that you're on a timer again, like Spiral, and you need to get through without going through the deck as fast. The problem is that when you're a hero, he discards cards from the encounter deck.
Yeah, I remember that. I hate villains that do that.
Yeah, so he's trying to get through his deck. Which is, and it's not just discarding, it's whatever those cards are, it adds threat to the main scheme. So you're just...
Everything is accelerating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last time we played this, we played with 4.
Yeah, we did.
So it was... It was
over fast.
Yeah. And even though we had like 5 encounter sets to play with because there's 4 plus 1, but I feel like it just went so fast because we had so much threat going on the main scheme from all of us being in hero form. Mm-hmm. So there's, I think, advantages to being solo here.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like this scenario in particular hurts my head.
This one. Usually you're great at all of these. What is it about this one?
I am usually the person that, like, runs the game.
Yep.
So I'm like the app. Right?
AngeBot.
Yeah, AngeBot.
Phase 2.
And I just feel like this one is just hard for, like, there's a lot to remember.
Yeah, okay. I can see that.
For me.
There's a lot to remember to play Rhino for me, so...
Rhino.
I'm happy that you're doing this.
He's just plain old Rhino.
Just flip a card. Christian doesn't know what to do.
I mean, he's not the most complicated one. I would like to play Jubilee versus Mojo or Mobo. Or the campaign. You know, I would like to do that because she's the newest one we have.
That's true. And we still don't have Nightcrawler out yet, and we still don't have Magnus.
Well, Nightcrawler is the end of September, right? Or in September.
It's probably in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Nightcrawler's soon.
Yeah, we'll do an update after we get the other 3 and play it. But
what do you feel about this campaign in general? Does it intrigue you?
So the only thing that I really like about it is Mojo, because the other 2 I don't really have memories of as a kid.
Yeah.
And even watching X-Men 97, Spiral and Mojo show up for an episode with Jubilee and Sunspot. Remember, they go into the video game, which is really cool. It's just like a throwback to that old episode.
Right.
But other than that, I don't really know those 2 characters. I remember Mojo. So that's how I like it. I think they need to do. I mean, I wish they kind of would do more of these just little scenario packs.
Yeah.
I think they'd fill the gaps between the big boxes.
Yeah.
Because like also if they make new heroes, I don't find it fun to go back and do Apocalypse again. It's like, oh, let's do Apocalypse again, but now I have Nightcrawler. It's like yeah, but we've played all these guys. Mm-hmm. Just release a new bad guy to make it interesting to fight my new heroes with a new scenario. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, they have released like different types of villain packs. Like this was the first one that had its own campaign, or no, Kang did. Kang did. But like Wrecking Crew didn't.
No, that was just that.
Yep.
Yeah. Hood had a bunch of scenarios, or modular sets.
Yep.
I mean, what we're not good at this game is just picking, because you can pick any villain and just play it.
Right.
We don't do that a lot. We're just like, oh, let's just do Kang, or let's just do the Badoon ship, or Escape from whatever in Galaxies, or and all the Spider-Man. I keep on forgetting about that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I think it's good. I think it's one of the better ones. I like the mini campaign. That's interesting to me. So like,
yes.
Kang's my favorite. I'd put this one right under it.
Well, it's the only other mini campaign.
Well, no, I'm talking about even in like all the scenario packs.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like this one is like kind of what you said. If I were going to go back to it, I would just do Mojo.
Yeah.
That is so intriguing to me, even though I said it's a headache to run. Like the genres coming up and the wheels spinning and trying to maintain everything on the board as a hero, and also be wary of the clock counting down until you're out of modular sets.
Sure.
So I think that's really interesting. I think they did a really good job thematically here on this whole campaign. Not just Mojo. But yeah, it's just a little one to have in your pocket.
Looking forward to some other like mini campaigns. Do you have any that you could
think off the top of my head?
Yeah, just because like I did mention that they'd be nice if they did more of these.
Yeah.
They're going like Shield-esque, so like I don't know where they would go. There's so many like people that we don't know, like Spiral and Magog, that could just show up.
Yeah.
And just be a little mini scenario, like who knows?
Right. I mean, I'm trying to think of because we have all those villains in Marvel United.
Oh yeah, all the X-Men villains.
Or just any in general. So I'm trying to think of like who I would want from there.
Yeah.
And I don't really know. I mean, Legion is in Marvel Champions, but he's an ally.
True.
So he must be one of those that
flip-flops.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like everyone in X-Men even Cyclops. He's a bad guy for a while.
Yeah. I mean, and Mystique, she shows up with the first X-Men, but I don't know. I'd like more of her. Or there's tons that I would be interested in. I feel like they have way more to go.
Okay.
So, Anything else about this one?
No, I think it's good. I think we'll come back and just wrap up our whole thoughts on X-Men Marvel Champions and, launch this ship off into the future.
Okay.
Well, we made it to the end of summer, kind of. Well, at least this version of the podcast, the Marvel Champions Summer.
Yes.
We did it. I didn't think we'd be able to do it, Ange, honestly.
Well, you were dragged across the finish line.
I'm not going to lie. I am tired right now. But I am sitting way reclined in this chair.
Yeah, he's basically laying horizontal. Just kidding. It's not that bad. But he is in a very relaxed state.
Yeah. But, we talked about a lot of Marvel Champions. So it's been fun to, revisit all the old cards and scenarios and campaigns and heroes. Some of them you forget about, way back in the Jean Grey Marvel Girl days and Colossus.
Yeah.
All the way up to the ones that they're not even done yet. We don't have the ones we just mentioned, Magneto and Nightcrawler. So that's funny. They're still trickling out there. So like I said, we'll have an update. Any final thoughts on the whole Marvel X-Men?
Yeah, a few just Marvel Champions shout outs. So I would say that if you're new to Marvel Champions, that it's overwhelming.
Totally.
So either go to Marvel CDB to get a deck that's already created. Use the starter deck. Christian is a big fan of using the starter decks.
Totally.
Or Hall of Heroes.
Yep.
And our friends at the Critical Encounters podcast.
Yes. Good deep dive into the villain side of things.
Yes, they go deep. So if you're ready just for that next part of your Marvel Champions evolution, you can check that out. And if you feel overwhelmed, we do have a Marvel Champions 101 episode.
That's true.
Where we talk about starting the game.
Yeah. And I think, too, if you're just starting out, you obviously have to buy the core set. But then you can probably just jump right into, the X-Men run if you're interested. Because they repeat a lot of cards. They're doing a lot of, new and improved stuff that they didn't do early. So you can just jump into, the first expansion and get a couple X-Men heroes. And you'll be good for a little bit.
Yeah. And what's great about this game is just play, what interests you.
Totally.
So if there's a villain that reminds you of your childhood,
Mojo.
Yeah, get right on that. Yes. So if I didn't already say, Marvel CDB is a deck builder.
Yeah,
so
it'll help you build
a deck, and it will tell you how many hero packs and how many cards you would need to buy in order to get the list that they have. So it will help. You don't need to be...
But you don't have to follow to a T either.
Yeah.
So just fill in with what you got and have fun. That's the
fun.
main thing. And you know what? If you don't get all the rules right the first time, it still counts.
I think we even got 2 rules wrong in our Marvel Champions 101 episode.
I'm sure we did.
Which we apologize for at some point.
Yeah,
but
so
yeah. Just remember, no one's perfect.
No one is perfect.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's do it.
What is bringing you joy outside of board games?
Outside
Christian?
of board games? I'll say Diablo 4.
Oh.
Video game world.
Okay.
Been playing that a lot recently. I just have a really good time playing that game. It's one where you can just pick up and play for 10 minutes and feel like you accomplished something.
That is rare in life.
And then be done. You know what I mean? Because a lot of the other video games I play, it's if you play 10 minutes, you barely did anything. It's I walked from this side of the town to the other, and I killed 4 robbers, and it's that's it.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything, but with Diablo 4, you can jump in and do some dungeons and kill some demons and get some new loot, and it's been really fun lately. So there you go.
Awesome.
Love it. If you want to play with me, send me a message. You could text me from the show.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
It's a good tie-in.
I'll give you my BattleNet ID.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, so this is not an ongoing thing, But recently we had the chance to go to a baseball game.
That's true. We went to 2 baseball games in 1 month.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, what's up with that? Go D-backs.
So the Diamondbacks are the Arizona team. But this most recent time that we went, we got some really cool seats.
That's true.
And so I just really enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. I am not normally a baseball fan. I think I like sports in general. Like I can enjoy myself at any sports venue.
Sure.
But something about the environment of that one and where the seats were and maybe
we saw a very good game.
There
was like 4 home runs. And where we were sitting, it was called the home run porch. Yeah. So we like overhanged. Is that how you say it? Overhung?
We were on the overhang?
On the overhang of right field at the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
So you could look down and there's the field, there's a pool in the Arizona Stadium, of course.
Of course.
And like one home run plopped, 50 feet in front of us near the pool. Another literally 4 seats away, like in the porch. So like there was just, one of them was a grand slam. Like
so cool.
It was really fun.
I know. And then, the stadium goes dark and the strobe lights come on.
They make it a party, which is really funny to me at a baseball stadium. Like, that's more like a basketball thing.
It does seem basketball.
And it was just like, oh man, they're trying to make this a dance party. And I was like, baseball doesn't really like lend itself to that in my opinion, but
that game did because it was crazy.
Yeah, it was fun.
So that is what brought me joy outside of board games recently.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. And I know our friend Steve would get upset if I didn't ask. So I have to ask, what have you been reading, Angela?
Okay, so I am in the middle of listening to American Prometheus, which is the story of Oppenheimer.
Okay, and we're going to watch
Robert Oppenheimer.
We're going to watch the movie after, right?
I mean, I would like to. I know it's a long one, so I don't know if you'll be up for it.
No, I like history a lot, so I'll watch it. Just got to get in the right mindset.
Right mood.
It's like that. This movie's not going to have a lot happening,
right?
For 3, like it will have a lot happening, but it's not like edgy or seat action movie for 3 hours.
It is not Deadpool versus Wolverine.
No.
And you have to start at like 4:00 because
that's true.
We get to bed at a reasonable hour.
That's very
now
true.
that we're old.
So old.
And then I am reading physically the book Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
Is that a class? Like, is that considered a classic?
Well, no, I mean like classics. That's like Frankenstein and Pride and Prejudice.
Monte Cristo.
Yeah, Count of Monte Cristo. No, it's been around for a while. I think the movie adaptation had Kevin Spacey, and I never saw the movie, but maybe I could watch it afterwards. But it is nonfiction, so I am into nonfiction.
So you're in the real world a lot.
I am, yeah.
You're not escaping while you read this time.
Well, I mean, like it's not our current world.
That's true.
So, yeah.
That's very true.
So, yeah, that's what I'm reading. That's what I'm listening to.
Perfect. Appreciate the update. And like we said earlier, feel free to text us from the show, from the podcast app. You can link it to text us. Please say where you're from and your name if you want. Just wondering what you're playing, what you're looking forward to this fall in terms of board games.
Or if you've played Mojo Scenario or any of the individual scenarios within the Mojo campaign, let us know.
Yeah, definitely let us know. We appreciate any and all feedback. We loved doing this. We hope everyone has enjoyed listening. Ange, last word?
Guys, we hit 1K followers.
Oh, yeah, we should have talked about that more.
We will, because our next episode will be our 100th episode.
Holy crap.
Stay tuned.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Married and Bored podcast. And guess what? We have a website where you can listen to podcast episodes and so much more. Find us at marriedandbored.com, or you can email us at hello@marriedandbored.com, or follow us on Instagram at marriedandbored. Music in this episode is by Joseph McDade. See you next time. Mojo. Ooh.